Matt here again. On today's campground tour, I'm going to give you a tour of the Lost Bay KOA, which is also known as the Gulf Coast Pensacola West KOA. So this one is located in Lillian, Alabama, which is actually right on the border of Alabama and Florida. We're Matt and Dave, and together, with our dogs Belle and Hudson, we're exploring the world in our Escape travel trailer. In the winter of 2023, we traveled from Ontario to Texas to pick up a 17-foot casita trailer and spent over a month on the road. We liked it so much that by the fall of 2023, we upgraded to a 19-foot Escape trailer so that I had space to work from the road. We haven't looked back since. Come see where we go next. So we mainly chose this KOA due to its proximity to a lot of really beautiful white sand beaches that are located both in Orange Beach and in Perdido Key. There are some other campgrounds in this area. There's a Jellystone not too far away, and there's also some private campgrounds. We didn't go right into those campgrounds, but we did drive by, and in some cases the pricing is higher than this KOA. And in other cases, they just have less amenities and they're a little bit further away in terms of driving distance from some of the stuff that you might want to see while you're here. So at this point, we've stayed at a lot of KOAs. And there's a number of things that make this particular KOA unique and worth staying at. The first thing is the proximity to the Gulf. So upon first glance, when you get into the background, you're not really seeing any water around me. But this KOA is located right on the shore of Lost Bay, which I guess would be considered part of the Gulf of Mexico water system. So this campground itself does have a beautiful pier. And I'll show you that in a second. And on that pier, you can walk out, you can do some fishing. While we were here, Dave and I did some paddle boarding as well. So that's probably the best feature of this KOA. This is a KOA holiday, so there are a few other amenities as well to talk about. So this particular KOA has a pool, it has a hot tub. We're here, and it's near the end of March at this point. The pool is extremely cold, and we're from Northern Ontario. We're used to very cold water. We did do a little bit of swimming on one of the days that we were here, but let's just say we didn't stay in very long. The hot tub, very nice, very hot, very tiny hot tub though. You're not going to fit much more than 3, maybe 4 people if you're really cozy into that hot tub. But honestly, the whole time we were here, there was no one in the hot tub. So we had it all to ourselves anyway. So this KOA does advertise that they have cable TV and Wi-Fi. Unfortunately, while we were here, the Wi-Fi was not working. They did tell us that they're in the middle of an upgrade to a much higher speed Wi-Fi. Sounds like that upgrade has been going on for quite some time though. So depending on when you come here, you may want to call and double check if you're going to rely on Wi-Fi for anything like working from here. In terms of the cable TV, they did tell me that the cable is on its way out. As soon as they have the high-speed internet, they're planning to just completely phase out the cable. And that means that they haven't really maintained the system, so you don't always get all of the channels. But honestly, we still had quite a bit, probably the selection of 20-25 different channels, so it was plenty for what we needed. The lots here are also fully serviced, so you'll have sewer hookups, you'll have water hookups, you'll have electrical at all of the different sites. There's different classes of sites as well. The site that we're at right now, which you can see behind me, is actually considered a super site. So if you've been to KOAs before, you know that that's supposed to be the highest end of all of the sites. This is actually the third site that we're parked at since we've been here. The first site was quite sandy, and it was low-lying, and we knew there was a storm coming, so we went to ask if there was any other sites available in the class that we had selected, which was just a basic site, and they were kind enough to allow us to move to a different site. And then we needed to move again yesterday, actually, because there was a little malfunction with their sewage system here, which was a problem in our area. So they were nice enough to move us to the super site that you saw behind me. Beautiful site, nice concrete pad. There's a swing there. Kind of wish we would have stayed there the whole time, but those sites are quite a bit more expensive. The area I'm walking through right now is at the back of the KOA. And as you can see from the ground, it's a little sandier. There's no concrete pads here. So you do tend to track a little bit more sand into your trailer. At the front end of the campground, everything is paved and grassy, and there's concrete pads at a lot of the sites. Oh, a very windy day today. Hopefully you can hear me through all of this wind. So as I was saying, at the front of the campground when you first drive in, it's grassy. There's concrete pads at some of the sites, maybe not all of them, but a lot less sand in that area. So if you're worried about tracking sand into your trailer, which can be a real problem, then pick something at the front of the campground. The nice part about this end though, the sandier area, is that you're right close to the water. So you can see the water is right down there, and I'm going to take you there right now. So as we walk towards the water, I'll tell you a little bit more about this campground. Another cool thing about this place is they have a lot of events. So while we were here, they probably had like 4 or 5 different special events. So one of them was a spaghetti dinner with live entertainment. So you get garlic bread, a salad, and spaghetti, homemade, for $8, plus live entertainment, and you just bring your own drinks. So that was pretty neat. They also had a golf cart parade while we were here. So there was a few golf carts making lots of noise, driving through the park and kind of throwing out candy to the passersby. So that was neat, little sight to see. So what I'm coming up on now is really the best part, in my opinion, about this park. So this is a private pier specifically for the park. And to the side here, there's cabins that you can rent out that would have beautiful lake views. If I turn all the way around, that's the main campground up there. So you do have a bit of a steep hill to come down to get to this beautiful bay, Lost Bay. But we've spent a lot of time down here. Another view of this beautiful private pier behind me. Pretty nice. It's a nice place to sit at night or in the morning with your coffee. Anyway, in terms of the vibe of the campground as a whole, this did seem to be the type of campground that has a lot of people that come back year after year. We did see a fairly large group of people who seem to hang out every night, so I'm imagining they're probably snowbirds who all get together here every year. We didn't actually get a chance to talk to them though, so I don't know their whole story. And then I would say maybe another 40% of the people here seem to just be coming in and out, but usually not just one-nighters. Most of the people that we saw here stayed at least a few nights, and I can certainly see why based on what I've shown you on this tour. This is actually our 6th night here, so this has been our longest stay on this trip so far. But as we move into our next campsites, we're actually staying a little bit longer than this as well. So we're starting to get into extended periods at this point. So I mentioned earlier that there was some issues with the sewage system yesterday, which required us to move to a different campsite. I have to say the people working here were really, really great about it, really accommodating. Just went to go ask really politely, hey, do you think we can move? It got a bit smelly in our area, and they were really, really good about accommodating us and finding us another campsite. So some people in that situation, I think, might have complained and left a bad review, but for us, the customer service was great. And based on that, I mean, great service here, so I would certainly recommend it. So I always like to tell you a little bit about some of the stuff to do in the local area and stuff that we have actually done ourselves. First recommendation is the Floribama Bar. It's a bar that's been around since 1964, and it sits right on the border of Alabama and Florida. That's the name, Floribama. Very popular bar, really, really cool vibe. A bunch of different rooms throughout the bar. Each of those rooms has different live music in it. There's live music every single day of the year. And if you're the type who wants to be on the beach, well, you can also go out on the beach at the bar, and they have live music out there as well. So definitely worth visiting that. So while you're in this area, the other thing that you have to check out, and probably the reason that a lot of people come down here, is the beautiful white sand beaches. So one of the beaches to check out would be Orange Beach. Another one is Johnson Beach, which is part of the national park. So there is a fee to get into that one, but it's a beautiful park. So would I recommend this park? Absolutely, especially because of what you see behind me. If you like paddleboarding, if you like kayaking, if you like swimming, if you like fishing, this is a great KOA to be at. It's nice that they have a pool as well. They have a great kids playground. They've got the hot tub that I mentioned earlier, and you're in great proximity to lots of really cool stuff, especially some beautiful beaches. So if you're in the Lillian, Alabama area, check out this KOA.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button. Or even better, subscribe to our channel. It really does help us reach a wider audience. And don't forget to come back tomorrow to see where we go next.